Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. How you gonna react when you're put in the back now? 'Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the smackdown.
Alright guys, back again for the next fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the first fight by Deadpoolzilla. Let's move on to a fight that I created. Fight number 24. Kind of video game character versus comic character. So we got Jade, Cheshire, versus Prince of Persia. Yeah, so we got Cheshire versus the Prince of Persia. I thought this would be very interesting. I thought this would be a kind of cool matchup. So let's kick it off with Cheshire, basically. Comes from an assassin who came from a pretty, she's a product of rape. Let's put it like that. Her mother she was Vietnamese, she was raped, and gave birth to Jade and then just left her, pretty much. And Cheshire became one of the most deadliest assassins in the DC universe. She's an expert martial artist, as well as she's an expert at poisons. Like, she wears these like fingertip claws that are dipped in different types of poison. She's like I said, very useful with that stuff. We should all know that she at one point was involved with Roy Harper. They had a child together. This is pre-52 knowledge, guys. They had a child. The child died. She took it personal, things like that. Jade is a very, very dangerous woman. This is a very, very dangerous woman. And for someone like her, who is a great martial artist, but also skilled in poisons, so even even a sheer defensive block can mean fatal to if you're fighting her. Now, she's kind of unpredictable, but then she's not, because some people know what you're up against with her. She is pretty much, like I said, by pre-52, she is judged to be the second deadliest assassin in the DC universe, only to being the first being Lady Shiva. When she goes, I've seen this woman going for kills, take out people that you wouldn't even think she could, but she would handle herself very well and poison them, and it would be only with sheer will that these person would able to get away from her. But let's move on to her combatant in this, and that's none other than the Prince. Yeah, okay, the Prince. He never really had a name in the games. Okay, I'm not talking about the movie, because in the movie he had a name. I'm talking about the original Prince from the games and everything like that. Now, the one thing about the Prince that we all know is he's personality-wise, the Prince is he's very self-confident. He's very confident in his abilities, but he's a little bit arrogant. He's an arrogant young man. Nothing about that. He's always eager to please his father. But he doesn't act like a prince, and that's something that always intrigued me about the Prince. He doesn't hide behind his royal status. If you got a problem with him, yeah, you got a problem with me, come on, solve it. The Prince definitely is one of those individuals, as royalty, you just be like, hey, this guy's all right. He's at peak human condition. For a guy who can, basically, he's at peak level, like a Olympic level style. You know, his stamina, his speed, his strength, everything like that is at peak capacity. You know, he's got sheer endurance. This guy does the most amazing acrobatic skills. His agility is off the chain. His reflexes. He's a master at acrobats. He's got this indomitable will, and he's really good at weapons too. He's a force to be reckoned with, the prince. So let's move on to the battle breakdown. So we have the an assassin whose key forte is poison against the Prince of Persia. This would be an interesting fight because both of these individuals are equally matched in a sense. Both have the same level of skill, combat training, you name it. That's why I put these two together. They both have no real special superhuman abilities. It's all skill to them. The prince would take Cheshire very seriously if they first met. I don't see him at all joking around with her. And I would say the same thing for Cheshire as well. Would not joke around with. Jade would not joke around with the prince. Now, I'm not saying that the prince, I don't want the prince to have, I'm doing this fight as the prince not having the dagger of time and things in it. He's just going on his skill. It's going to be a tough call, but if the prince gets scratched or cut, it could be doomsday for him. So he's got to stay on his toes. But I leave it up to you guys. Cheshire from DC Comics or the video game icon, the Prince of Persia. And I hope you guys enjoyed this fight. This is fight number 24 of Gender Wars. We got a few more to go. And the next one up is from I Am Super Batman 1989. And he puts the world's deadliest assassin in the DC universe against the best in the world at what he does. I'll see you guys in a little bit.